for the return of Jones and Keefe?
Oh, I'm ready. Yes, I am ready.
Are you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't know if you were like,
I never went anywhere. I was here the whole time. Me and Billy were holding it down.
I saw you guys did a wonderful job.
We crushed it
last week.
Yeah. How are you? You refreshed?
Best I could tell, I'm refreshed.
Or do you need a vacation from the vacation? That happens sometimes.
Sometimes that is true. No, I am back. I'm refreshed.
Good.
Good to go.
Thank you.
I was not in the country, brag.
Wow.
For 2 of the Red Sox 3 losses. So
you
I feel
have a
like
working passport?
I feel like they almost didn't count. Yeah, I had to go back to the to get that redone. But
I don't think I have one.
Yeah, no,
works now.
Active passport. Yes, currently.
Good.
So I was out of the country for 2 of the Red Sox losses. I feel like those don't count. I only choose to recognize what happened yesterday, Keith.
Want to know post All-Star break Jones in the country?
Fun little game yesterday.
It was.
And by the way, beyond just a fun little game.
A must-win.
No, I mean, it kind of, knowing who's pitching in Philadelphia, specifically tonight, yesterday was kind of a must-win.
No, it sneaky was a must-win. It would have been crazy to say it at the time, but you just lost 2 straight games, and you were in jeopardy of getting swept and then not having Garrett Crochet for another 4 games. Like, what was that going to look like?
Right.
And because you thought, all right, you're starting the second half against some good teams, that's fine. The Cubs are really good. But you had your 3 best pitchers going in the series, and Giolito and Bayo kind of turned into a pumpkin at first, but then settled down like in each case. And you're like, okay, I didn't love that. But they didn't get any run support. And then you come back the next day, you're like, all right, with Crochet on the mound, you sure as hell better win this game. And it was super close for a while, and then they kind of broke it open there late in the game, and thankfully they won. They held on to it, still in the playoff spot, and you just couldn't have the doomsday scenario. You want to win all these series, obviously, but you just can't get swept. That's how all of a sudden you see teams passing you left and right in the standings.
And the Red Sox still currently hold a playoff spot. You prefer they won the series, obviously. You prefer they kept it rolling. They weren't never going to lose again. At some point, the 10-game win streak was going to end. It's not ideal to drop those 2 or 3 against the Cubs. It's not ideal how it went down, Keefe. As you just mentioned, Giolito, Bayo, different guys in the second half. Not terrible, not disasters, but not good either.
Started out as a disaster with Giolito,
for
and
sure.
then he did chill out a little bit.
The offense vanished for 2.5 games. It finally woke up in the middle, or late innings, really, of yesterday's game. Abreu hits a 2-run shot. Bregman gets the pinch hit 3-run bomb, which was
Bregman.
Awesome.
That was great.
Abreu adds another home run, and the Red Sox leave Chicago, I think, as you said, feeling okay about themselves.
Yeah.
You weather the storm. You did enough, I think, to keep yourself in the mix. But you guys can discuss 617-779-7937. That's your phone and your text number for Jones and Keefe. You can interact, Twitter and Instagram, at Jones and Keefe. You can watch along and chat. Twitch.tv/Boston WEEI. Always a healthy chat going on Twitch. You can do the same on YouTube. Just subscribe to WEEI and stream anytime on the Odyssey app as well as the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps. I think they did enough this weekend, Keith, to remain buyers, to remain in the mix at the trade deadline, I think. But I would understand fans who have been saying all along, well, let's see how they look in this 9-game stretch against Chicago. Lost 2 out of 3. Phillies next up. You're going against 3 really good pitchers, including the Cy Young favorite in the NL tonight, opposed by Walker Buehler. And then you get the Dodgers at home this weekend. So I understand. Fans holding out and going, I need to see more. Did they do enough?
So, I mean, I'm already of the – they won 10 straight games going into the break. So, to me, they should be a buyer no matter what. I think most fans think that they should be a buyer, and they're not perfect, right? So, you see times where the offense can kind of go empty. And then you also see the rotation outside of Crochet where you don't have the full – most confidence in. So, that's why you need to add. If the team was loaded, then you would say, don't worry about it. They need to add. The question for me is, is Breslow kind of waiting for the excuse not to buy, right? So they have 12 games after the break before the trade deadline. 9 left, obviously. They just played these 3. So it's not just, what was your record against Chicago and Philly, but in that stretch of time, because then you're home to the Dodgers and then you're actually at Minnesota, that they're off the day of the deadline itself. July 31st is an off day.
I hope Breslow's not a procrastinator. He's just
I'll get that. Well, right.
I got an off day. We'll figure it out on the off day. My advice would be to get something done ASAP.
Yeah.
But certainly
help the club.
Certainly before the Minnesota series.
But if
like
they go,
I would hope they've done something before that Minnesota series even starts.
This might be too low of a bar, but if they go 6-6 over that stretch, my guess is they're probably still a playoff team, or they're like a game out, depending on what Tampa Bay is doing.
And that team should be a buyer.
Yes. Oh, 100%. If you're 2 games out, you should be a buyer. If you're maybe even 3 games out, you should be a buyer. But that's not where they're at right now. You see what they are capable of. You saw the stretch that they're on. Plus, I think Breslow even kind of mentioned this before in one of his interviews. It might have been with Greg. It's not just what they've done to this point. You also have to project forward. And if you look at the first 100 games of the season, Alex Bregman missed half of them. Roman Anthony wasn't with the club for more than half of them. Marcelo Meyer wasn't with the club for more than half of them. So it's not just, hey, this is what they did in the first half. Can they duplicate it in the second? Like, no, you have a number of guys that weren't even on the team that are now part of your best fielding alignment, part of your best batting order, that kind of thing. So even if you're 2 games out, you should probably feel like, all right, we're even a better team than that, right? Because we didn't see that team for most of the first half.
No, and I think that's fair. And I would be a buyer almost no matter what they do. I would advise them to buy immediately. I thought Crochet gave an interesting answer after the game yesterday, and he was interesting to watch yesterday. Like, I think we could all agree, not his dominant self. 5 Ks. I think 2 came in his final inning.
Bunch of hits, yeah.
So the strikeouts were low, the hits were high, but that's a really good lineup. That's a good team. He had a long layoff.
Oh, they got Pete Crow.
Going back to before the game. Oh, Pete Crow.
Kyle
Tucker. Seiya Suzuki.
That's a good outfield.
Is
that might be the best
on
outfield.
The team. Yeah, he was in the lineup yesterday.
That might be the best outfield in the majors.
So, yeah, I wouldn't discourage that.
Yeah.
So, Crochet wasn't his dominant self, but he knew they needed the victory. He kept him in the game long enough until the offense woke up. Here's what Crochet said after the game.
The rest of this month is always about the trade deadline, and between the win streak and games like today, you're confident the front office will help you guys out.
Yeah, we got to win for that to happen. So today, it's just another step in the right direction. Just hope to keep stacking games, and whatever happens is really out of our control. It's really just on us to give them every reason to be buyers.
So while I agree with him, I don't know that they should have to be winning games.
Yeah, but I like that he's putting it on him and on the team.
Yeah.
And not just being like, it's up to those guys. They better do everything.
No,
no, we need to force their hand.
That's the attitude they should have in the clubhouse. Yeah. If they weren't winning games, I would still say Breslow needs to buy.
Oh, sure.
But you're right. That should be the attitude. I do think it's the right attitude. Like, we need to prove to them that we're worth investing in. And if that's the mindset in the clubhouse, I'm in favor of it. I think Breslow should add either way. But I thought that was an interesting answer from Crochet.
Yeah, no, and I think they tried doing that, and they did do that going into the break. And now, you still have 2 weeks until the deadline. So they need to realize that. And I like that mentality where it's not like, hey, guys, we did win 10 in a row. So, like, we've convinced
we're
you.
Good.
Well, if you lose 10 in a row, they're going to be like, we're going to be sellers at this point. So I feel like yeah, they should be in that spot. And if Crochet has that kind of mindset, it does feel like they're in good hands when it comes to Crochet, despite him not having, playoff experience. Hell, that's a guy that's never pitched, honestly, meaningful games. Not his fault. Right. The White Sox have been such a disaster while he was there. He's never pitched in a game. Like yesterday, biggest start of his life. Like, no joke, it probably was his biggest start. Without even him knowing it.
Just knowing that.
Based on everything else.
It's Walker Buehler tonight. The thing could snowball. It already felt like it was on the precipice of snowballing. Yeah, right up there, yeah.
But I think between him and Alex Bregman, like, they're in a good spot. Like, they have a guy that you could not just lead by example, but those guys also say the right things. And it's easy for the younger guys to sort of follow the lead of Crochet and Bregman. And that's another reason why I would have confidence in this team, despite what the first 2 games of the series looked like. Having those 2 guys as the centerpiece, I think they're in pretty good hands.
So, circling back to the weekend, like, that Bregman moment yesterday was awesome. Twitch chat is already on me, I think, since I've fired Cora a million times over the last few years, including this year.
That's right.
Big move by Cora to go to Bregman there, which I agree with. But if we're going to do that, I think there's fair criticism for Cora on Saturday, too, sticking with Connor Wong, who I think, is he still stuck on 1 RBI?
Dude, yeah, he is. He is so bad.
So, like,
he's the worst player.
I'll give Cora all the credit in the world. Great job pinch hitting Bregman yesterday. I would just highlight that maybe you should have pinch hit for Connor Wong, who's a waste, on Saturday. If we're going to play that game with Cora, let's make sure we play it fully all through the weekend.
Do you know how many extra base hits Connor Wong has this season?
I'm going to guess less than 1. Yep. Zero.
And zero's the answer. Yes. Yeah, the answer is zero.
Is he still at 1 RBI?
He has 1 ribeye,
Nice.
which is a sac fly.
And there were ducks on the pond on Saturday.
Oh, he's had some ducks.
Yeah, no, for
He's
sure.
got some lobs this year. That'd be left on base for the non-baseball fan.
Well, Red Sox it was
That could be the new daily question.
Lob City over the weekend.
Does Connor Wong have an extra base knock? He does not.
Okay.
He still does not.
Let's throw our hat in the ring on that one. That's a good one to keep in the
He
mix.
is hitting 144.
But no, in the biggest game of the weekend, yesterday was the biggest game. They had to win it without putting it's a must-win stamp on it. Like they did not need this snowballing to start the second half. That was a big win. Cora made a good move there to go to Bregman, and Bregman had a monster hit, home run.
Did you see the stat of the year, courtay of Justin M. Turpin?
So I was going to segue into this, yes.
Okay.
But so you tell me how this went. Why was what I was seeing over the weekend a tweet from Joe Weil, but attributed to Justin Turpin?
Because Turp came up with his own stats. I don't know if he works in accordance with...
But did Turp not tweet it out? He was like, why everywhere I see it on social media is it credited to Turp?
Was Turp working the Sox game this weekend or something?
Oh, is that what went on?
Maybe he was, because I saw Bradfo tweeting about it, Fitzy was tweeting about it. Everybody's going hog wild.
Everybody's like, credit to
Turp
Turp.
just texted me. He said it on the air.
Oh, he said it on the air, but he didn't put it on social media. I'm like,
sick brag, bro.
Oh, he's hosting a show? My bad, Turp.
Wow, okay, excuse us, Turp.
Jeepers.
So, no, it is an incredible stat.
It's an incredible stat by Turp, which, again, Rich Keefe Stats and Info Department has never gotten this kind of hype. This is a lot of attention coming his way.
Turp Stats and Info.
Crushed it.
Pure baseball.
Pure baseball with Turp.
Through 100 games, so entering play yesterday.
Yeah.
The Red Sox in 3 consecutive years, 53 and 47. They were 53 and 47 in 23, 53 and 47 in 24, 53 and 47 through 100 games entering yesterday. So the question becomes, is this team different? And is this a team we should trust down the stretch compared to a team in the exact same spot the last 2 years that fell flat on their faces?
It's very fair. We've talked about how Alex Cora, every year, I think with the exception of 2018, has had a losing record in August. Now, I know they still have a lot of July games to play, but just they've had a losing record in the second half every year with the exception of 2021, which is the year they added Kyle Schwarber. He joined the team a couple weeks after he got traded, and then they went to the ALCS. Every other year has been, in different degrees, a disaster. Yeah. So they played over expectation last year to get to 53 and 47, and then they kind of fell apart, right? Like Tanner Houck, Cutter Crawford kind of turned back into pumpkins. Some of the other guys in the lineup were kind of a mess, and then they just kind of nosedived. I do, and maybe I'm gullible, but I do think this team is a lot different for the two main reasons we were just talking about. They didn't have Garrett Crochet last year, so every fifth game, if you're riding a losing streak, here comes Crochet. Bregman actually talked about this yesterday, where he's like, if you need a stopper, he's your stopper. If you need a guy to keep the streak going, he keeps the streak going. Like, he's just good every single time out. You didn't have that a year ago. As good as Tanner Houck was, he's not.
He's not that. He's not a stopper. No.
You also didn't have Alex Bregman. You didn't have Bregman last year, and you could argue like, oh well, he had Devers in the lineup. I think Bregman and like all the intangible stuff, all that stuff, combined with him being a good player, super high OPS. He's still one of the top OPS guys or top WAR guys in baseball, despite all the time that he's missed. I think those two specifically. Throw in some of the new life in Roman Anthony and Marcel Meyer, which weren't on the team a year ago. Yeah, I have confidence that they're in a better spot, despite the record being the same as it was the last 3 years.
Well, and, not to put more work on Turp here, but since we got pure baseball going on down the hall, were they in playoff position the last 2 years, or did they just have the same record?
So watching the clubhouse last year, they flashed it a few times, and I remember being surprised, be like, oh, wow, that's right, they were around the deadline closer. I'll have to double-check. But they couldn't have been further than 1 or 2 games out. They were right around
They were
there.
in the mix. But this year, I mean, sitting here today, they're tied for the number 2 wild card spot with Seattle. And they played
1.5 up on the Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays, correct. And then it's like a bunch of teams that there's some distance between. Like the Red Sox, I feel like are in a better spot, even with the same record, than the last couple of years, before you even get into the personnel you're talking about. So my answer is the same as you, Keith. Yes, I trust them this year. I trust them down the stretch. To not make the postseason, given the position they're in through now 101 games, would be a wild disappointment. Breslow doing nothing at the trade deadline or failing to make an impact move. And you're going to hear some names coming up. We can debate how much of an impact these guys would be for the Red Sox. We can debate on the field where they even need to make an impact, because starting pitching is where we left off talking quite a bit last week. even bullpen arms, you're starting to look at first base. You're starting to look at the lineup and go, boy, maybe they need some more help there. So maybe it's a multitude of moves. But my answer is yes. Yes, I believe in this team down the stretch. To miss the playoffs, given where they're at, would be a failure, would be a wild disappointment. And that's acknowledging, Keefe, they still do dumbass stuff every game. I heard Curtis talking about this.
Do they ever?
So, some of it is they're trying to get everybody on the field, and they're playing Rafaela at second, which I would still do over Duran traded off the team.
Yeah.
But Rafaela doesn't look the same at second. There was a ball that he jumped for that deflected off his glove. He, I think, got charged with an error on a ground ball yesterday well. He officially got an error for that.
Yeah, he did.
So he's just not the same player at second, which makes sense. He hasn't played it.
Yeah.
He doesn't pout and say he won't go there, but he's not the same player there. On top of that, you have
Yoshida left.
Duran mowing over Yoshida.
Man.
I didn't even get that at all. I guess you want the lefty bat in the lineup yesterday. Not that he did anything
it's weird.
specifically
You have
in the game.
5 outfielders. He's not one of them, and you're sticking him out in the field. I thought the whole thing was he doesn't play the field.
Yeah. Ref Snyder could have gone in there against a lefty relief pitcher. Cora slept on that yesterday as well. I'll give him credit for the Bregman one. That's one that he fell asleep on. Yeah, you have guys running into outs over the weekend. Duran running into Yoshida. And so they still do dumbass stuff. They should be a playoff team, and this year does feel different. I believe in them down the stretch.
On this date last year, according to my research, they were a game and a half out of the wild card.
Okay.
They had a better record than anybody in the West. So, looking at it, they had one of the better American League standings, but you had Baltimore and New York ahead of them, and then you had 3 teams in the Central ahead of them.
So that's a 3-game swing. Right now, they're a game and a half up. Yet last year, they were a game and a half out. So that's a 3-game swing, even having the same record from where they were a year ago. They're in a better spot. They're a more talented team. And this year, I think they're really going to buy. Not fake buy like they did last year. I think they're really going to buy. So there's the upside of looking even better down the stretch. But you let me know. Agree or disagree. Is this a team worth investing in? Is this a team you trust? Did they do enough over the weekend in the beginning of a really difficult stretch against the Chicago Cubs? 617-779-7937. That's your phone and text number to jump in here on Jones and Keefe. You have 2 years ago. I see you. Deep at work in the Rich Keefe Stats and Info department.
So what I also had though was they had the 3rd best record in the division up to that point, and then after that point that we looked at, they ended up having the worst record in the division.
Nice.
So they on Baseball Reference they have up to this date, then after this date. So they started the year 50. This is from July 21st, so it's off by 1. But they were 53-47. 53-46 was their record, and then after that they finished 28-35. So they just kind of nosedived.
They nosedived.
That was the end.
It's what they've done under Cora.
Correct.
Will this year be different, and are they worth investing in? Again, we can get to that with all your feedback here on Jones and Keefe. We got a lot of Patriots chatter on the show today. We have a Dork Minute at 11:45. We'll also get to a former Celtic going to a rival.
Oh, your guy.
That I think we have some thoughts on later on in the program, along with, of course, the grab bag and the clip du jour coming your way at the end of the show.